Well, all of my roaches, guess what? We're moving to a new YouTube channel, and I've put the link in the description of both this YouTube video and as well as the audio file on iTunes and anywhere you find your audio files, wherever you listen. It's in the description. Please to be clicking that link and subscribing. It would mean a wonderful deal to me, so I hope you do that. And then we can get into the show. Hello, all my little roaches. How are you? It's your Papa Roach here, hanging out once again, doing up the Josh Potter Show. I, of course, am Josh Potter. I want to thank everybody who came to San Diego to check me out at the American Comedy Company. 2 sold-out shows, which sounds cooler than it probably actually is due to the restrictions on capacity and things like that, but I'm still honored that they added another show and allowed more people to come in, and we sold both of them out for what the capacity was, so thank you. It was a great time, and we have more shows to come. June 9th, going to be at the Tampa Bay Improv, and June 10th, going to be at the Orlando Improv. You can find links to those tickets on my Instagram, at Josh_Potter, or on my Twitter, at J_Potter. Just click the old link tree, and you can find the tickets there. On that link tree as well, you'll find the fact that we are moving to a new YouTube channel, which is happening in 1 month's time, coming in May. So please to be subscribing to that if you want to continue to watch this show and be notified as to when it comes out. Thank you to all the people who already subscribed. I don't even have anything on the YouTube channel yet, and so many of you had subscribed already. Please continue to do that. I'm going to start doing, leading up to the launch of the new YouTube channel, live broadcasts on there. I'm going to stream live from that YouTube account. So if you want to get in and do a little AMA or something like that, please to be subscribing so you get notified for all of those things. The merch continuing to be on sale, store.ymhstudios.com. Just go to the old Josh Potter section, and we've got it up there for you. There it is, yes indeed. And today, I think that's it for the plugs as far as everything goes. Oh, twitch.tv/Josh_Potter, continuing to stream on that bad boy as well. So you got a lot of me if you want it. So I hope you continue to check all of that out. Oh, by the way, also new email coming with the brand new launch of the YouTube channel, which is just joshpottershow@gmail.com. I know we're going to have some feedback here in a couple of moments and some articles that were submitted via the old email, the new email. People are kind of using both at the time. Just don't forget, come May, that old email is gonzo. So write the new one down if you want to be a Roach reporter out there. And we've got some international Roach reporters today, so I'm excited. We've got people from all over the globe sending things in. But I want to... Oh, by the way, Eni and Nadav are gone today. We have Chris and Zolo in the controls. Say what's up, fellas. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, guys?
Not bad. Chris is like, what's up? I was like, I didn't know that Eni and Nadav weren't going to be here for this episode, but I guess it's something I have to get used to, because Eni and Nadav are not coming to the new show. And I'm disappointed with that, obviously, but, you know, we have to move onward and upward, and, you know, it's just part of the deal. So it's all good. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the future here. One thing that I have to look back to is the past, though, today, because I've gotten submitted this article about 60 times in 48 hours. Now, I mean, I wasn't even going to bring it up because I don't like dancing on the graves of my enemies, either former or present. But in this case, I mean, it's becoming a wild tornado of a storm, basically. I mean, you got Halle Berry tweeting about it right now. That's how insane the story has grown to be. And it involves an old, I'm not going to even say radio enemy, but it's just a guy who... To give you a backstory on my experience with this gentleman, he worked for a radio station that was considered a sister station to the one that I worked at. And he was on a morning show on that station. And he continued to be beyond my presence there. And prior to me, by the way, he was there long before I got there, and he was there after I had left. But during my tenure there, our show hated their show and vice versa. We all hated each other, and despite the fact that we worked for the same company, we never avoided shitting on each other. More so us on them than the other way around. But, it was the show at the time, because you have these stations, like they were the big mighty 97 Rock, and we were just the lowly, crappy 103.3 The Edge. And we seemingly would get lost in the shuffle, and we took it as a slight. So we took time to always shit on their show at every occasion that we possibly could. And the gentleman that I'm talking about is Rob Leaderman, and he was a stand-up comic in Buffalo. He owned a club there. I mean, in terms of Buffalo famous, he was way up there, right? And coming into comedy, when I started doing stand-up, I started doing radio well before stand-up, about 5 years prior. And when I started doing stand-up, because we kind of had similar jobs, I had a variation of his type of gig. He was a third mic, the comedian on the show. I was not quite a comedian yet, but I was writing bits. I was doing characters. I was doing stunts, things like that. So I had a variation. I considered him my competition to a degree, and I guess he probably considered me the same down the road, because as I started doing stand-up, he would not have me at his club because he considered me an open micer. He's like, I don't have open micers at my club. I have established comics. Now, meanwhile, this is like a D-rated club where these friggin' road dogs would come in, and I mean, like, you've never heard of any of these people coming in there. I mean, I'm talking regional people, stuff like that. But he deemed me unworthy of performing at his club. Eventually, he changed his mind and allowed me to perform there. And what he would do to new comics when they would perform at his club is he wouldn't, he'd give you typically what happens is when you're starting out, either you do a guest set right after the MC. So you go up after a 10-minute MC who does the hosting duties, and you go up following that. With Rob, everyone would come to see Rob. They wouldn't come to see the dumb headliner he'd book. And I think that was by design. He would never book a guy that was like overly talented. I mean, some of them were great comics that are friends of mine, but I'm saying like he would never book somebody that would overshadow him if he was on the show. And the way that he would think that he was helping you was by going up before you. So he would host the show, but he would do a half hour of crowd work in front of you. And then you'd have to go up and do your 5 minutes and follow that, just doing your material. That's impossible. That's like the equivalent of trying to teach a kid how to swim by throwing them off a cruise ship. Okay? It's the same sort of deal. And so I always like resented the guy for that kind of thing. And he had all the right in the world to not have me at his club. I don't really give a shit. Eventually Helium came and I got work there, and I didn't really give a crap about doing that, but I did it a couple of times, And so as the years went on, we would shit on their show. They would cry to corporate. We would get, yelled at. And, I always thought he was a lazy hack, right? I just thought he was a lazy hack. And, come to find out, his hackery has caught up to him, and there's a big scandal surrounding him now and his racist comments. The comments that he's made here are comparing the skin tone of black women to toast. Edgy stuff. Let's go.
What is your
what number? What's the number?
Setting,
I think it's probably a 7-ish, 6 to 7, probably 7.
See, we have ours, and I may get into trouble for
like
this.
2 o'clock.
I have them to the attractiveness of women that I find to be attractive. So I will never go to a Serena Williams level, but I'm very comfortable with, I'm very comfortable at a Halle Berry level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I need a little bit of mulatto still coming through. It can't be,
is Gayle King that's not your realm?
No, Gayle King is not even on my toaster level.
Yeesh. I mean, here's the thing, folks. So eventually, who tweeted this part out? It went out on the air, and probably 200 people heard. I don't know how many people are listening to the radio anymore. I don't know how many people are listening to that show anymore. But a gentleman who did hear it was a gentleman by the name of Marcel, who is the Bills beat reporter, who I actually very much like. He started being the Bills beat reporter for ESPN after I had left Buffalo. The guy before him, Mike Rodak, that guy was a real piece of crap. So that guy sucked. He would have been Queef of the week every week if he was still there. But so I like Marcel's job as a reporter, and the city has embraced him, and he's become a part of the city. And he tweeted this out, and it got a lot of traction. And eventually, advertisers, Roswell, Cancer Institute pulled their advertising, big money stuff here. And that's when people in the corporate side start to take notice. Because here's the thing, folks, he's been doing this shit since before I was even in, but back in the late 80s all the way through. You know, it's never stopped. In fact, I used to do a bit shitting on him called Racist Hacked Comic. And it was just him. I would just do him on the radio, and I would do, you know, because all his shit is like, oh, go to UB and you're going to see bad drivers because they're all Asian, stuff like that. Like, that was his brand of humor. You know, like if he was on stage and he saw a brown guy in the crowd, he'd be like, shouldn't you be in the kitchen? You know, that kind of thing. Just hacky shit. Like, of course, I don't think he is a hateful person. I'm not going to say he's a racist, but he's an ignorant hack at the very least. And it's been going on forever. And the fact that, you know, all these people in the Buffalo media are now doing this whole like, oh my God, they're acting like clutching their pearls and being very upset about it. I'm talking about the legacy people in Buffalo media. They're all like, oh my goodness, I can't believe. They knew what this guy was doing for years. They didn't give a shit. The Buffalo Broadcasters Association used to hold their meetings and their benefits at his comedy club and watch him do this shit all the time. So it's just weird to me that they're coming out now and being like, I never. It's like, you watched this guy do this for years. Now maybe they're having their own guilt complexes and looking in the mirror finally and being like, oh, we should have allowed this for so long, but they did. And so it's just interesting to me that now they're coming out and enacting this way, especially to the company that employs him and my former employer, Cumulus. Those people are even more disgusting. Like, this is where, when it comes to calling out this type of stuff, I get it. Like, call out the guy who did it, and, you know, he has to be terminated, whatever. But where's the, you know, responsibility by the company? You know what I mean? Like, the company that put him on the air every day, where he did this stuff. In fact, Marcel actually called him out on this prior to this. At one point, Marcel went on their show, and apparently he afterwards was told by Rob, he goes, you talk good. You talk way more eloquent than I thought. That kind of thing. And he was like, whoa, that's fucked up. And someone was like, hey, he's a comic, you know, giving that whole, like, anything for a joke thing a bad name. Like, usually I subscribe to that. Like, if you should have the opportunity to fail at making a joke. But this guy just did this shit all the time. You know what I mean? And at the very least, should have been fired 15 years ago for being a lazy hack who had terrible ratings. I mean, that's what he should have been fired for ultimately a long time ago. So I'm not like mad that he got fired. Now, where the weird part is, there's other people in that clip, right? And the other person is a gentleman by the name of Rich Gensler, who I am friends with. His name is Bull on the radio. And he is getting raked over the coals for kind of allowing that to happen. His name is on the show too, so all the national media confuses him as being the guy saying it, which is wild. And I'll say this about Bull. He is a nice guy, and he is a very talented broadcaster, very knowledgeable in sports. Comedy, not his strong suit. Not exactly hilarious, and kind of whiffs a lot in that kind of regard. So I think he kind of just trusts Rob in that sense, and yeah, he let it go on. But at the end of the day, you know, what was he going to do? All these people are trying to just hold on for dear life to their jobs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just trying to get through another day and see tomorrow, because the window is closing. The shit is ending, dog. Oh, the Nice Boy clock ended a long time ago, by the way.
It's dirty time.
I just want to give Alexis Fox her due there. It ended about 3 minutes ago. But, you know, I have to give Rob Leaderman Queef of the Week, Queef of my life. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, like, here, I mean, I don't like to dance on the graves of people who, you know, wronged me in the past, but I hold personal grudges deep down inside my body, and often I don't let them out. But here I decided I was going to, and I decided I'm going to make Rob the Queef of the Week.
Queef of the Week.
Oof. No, that one was gnarly, and Mariah and Seth sent that one in post-coital, by the way. That one, Mariah sent it herself. She goes, my husband put sperm into my body, and then I made that queef for you. So thank you, Mariah. I like how the women are owning the queefs more and more every time. In fact, now they're even like saying what the circumstance in which they are created. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to come out. I'm not trying to defend anybody or justify any of their actions. My point is, at the end of the day, everyone who listened to him in any capacity knew that he did this, and now all of a sudden the outrage occurs, and he gets fired from the company that knew he did this because Roswell pulled ads. Who, I mean, that's a lot of money off of the radio station now. So now they're all scratching and clawing. We'll do better, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. Bull and the other co-host, Chris Klein, suspended, not fired. And I don't think they should be, frankly. I know that there are some people who were offended by it, who think because they allowed it to go on that they should be fired. That's their prerogative, I suppose. But it is wild to have like black celebrities now tweeting about it, like Lonnie Love tweeting about it. Halle Berry, who we mentioned in that clip, tweeted about it, how disgusted she was. That's crazy. This is the most fame Rob has ever seen, and it's about this. And you know what's going to happen? All these people who are like anti-cancel culture and think that this is bogus, basically also racists from Buffalo, are going to buy tickets to his comedy club, which is in the back of a restaurant. So, I think he'll be fine. He's independently wealthy, I believe, anyhow, and he didn't really need this job. There's the tweet from Halle Berry up there. So yeah, I just wanted to address it because so many people sent that in to me. And like I said, I don't have any ties to this company anymore. I could care less about Cumulus Media, and their bankrupt ass. They fucking screwed me for years and years and years and paid me dog shit to do multitudes of jobs and hold many hats. So they can go get fucked. I have no sympathy for them. And frankly, I think the people who are outraged about this should really go after their heads for allowing it to happen more often.
Now watch this drive.
Let's check out some viewer feedback in terms of my own... we had a discussion a couple of weeks back about rap songs and how I refuse to say the N-word in rap songs, and that's not a performative thing. I just feel uncomfortable with it, right? I mean, I don't know, Zola, you're younger than me. Do people still do that your age, or is that something that's been taken away from the lexicon?
No, a lot of people still do it, definitely. And I'm noticing it more and more now from, like, friends that aren't black and definitely shouldn't be saying it. But, yeah.
But it's happening still.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have not made any progress.
I don't think so.
But so I mentioned that I've for years now changed that word to person or people when I'm singing along to a rap song. And it's automatic for me. And some people have suggested other things that I could say. This one coming to us by Dalton. He says, a few years back, I discovered a word that is rarely used to its full potential and perfectly fills the gap left by white people afraid to sing along with big words, and it's PC friend approved. The valuable word is none other than fella. I've included a few examples below using popular songs. This one is from Cardi B. And I'm quick, cut a fella off. So don't get comfortable. Did I do that song right? I don't know.
Yeah. Man,
okay, that was pretty good, right? Okay.
Hell yeah.
Let's see if I can do Kendrick Lamar. He didn't say, I don't know that one. Humble? I don't know. I don't know either of these last. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. I don't know this one either. I didn't know who Nipsey Hussle was until he got murdered. I feel bad about that.
Same here.
You didn't eat? Well, we're two very white people. I mean, do they count Jew people as white people?
Yeah.
I was going to say you people. I said Jew people.
Yeah.
That was a oof. All right. Come for my head now.
Same thing.
Yeah. But no, I did not know, and I feel bad about that. I should be more cultured. But yes, no, here's the thing. I don't think it's inclusive enough saying fella, because what about the ladies? But when you apply that other word to, is that a masculine word? I don't know. So you never hear a woman call another woman that word.
Yeah. I think it is masculine. Definitely has that connotation.
They should make it an O at the end instead of an A. The feminine. Yeah. Okay. This one comes to us by Gil in Virginia. He says, hello, my roach lord. You ever heard or used the word nilla? And I guess kind of like vanilla. I've seen white rappers do this before. What do you R-words think about it? I think it's a little too close, personally. I think it's a little too almost on the nose. You're changing a sound and it could be misconstrued. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to stick with person or people. And I think it should be a trend that we all go along with at the end of the day. We'll see how it goes. A couple other things, a couple other emails coming to us. This is some feedback about my little rant about how guys are commenting on how I look and dress and stuff like that. And I'm like, why would I care? Teresa, a lady, keep that in mind. She says, Josh, I subscribed to the new channel. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Love the new glasses and screw the morons coming at your new look. Here's the thing. It's not a new look. It's just new I just got glasses. You know, I just changed my glasses from the last. I guess that's like, for me, it's like facial surgery. People are like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? But thank you. I do appreciate the compliment nonetheless. And notice it comes to us from a lady. This next one comes to us from a gentleman. And this one is weird. This one's very strange, for the record. And it comes from a YouTube comment, and he selected out of things. MNTNRDER. I don't know what that's supposed to sell. Mountain Nerder? No idea. But nevertheless, he writes, Josh's right eye actually looks worse. Has he explained the clinical situation? Yes, I have. Many times. Watch a Honeydew. Watch a Dr. Drew. Any of them. I'm on there explaining it. I'm not going to go into detail right now. But he continues to say, I'm so sick of my favorite comedians and personalities, the people who get me through life, not taking care of themselves. I worry it's an incurable, degenerative thing. It is. But if there's a surgery or something that could help Josh or something, I'm sure he'd be crowdfunded in about 5 minutes. Well, that's very nice of you. Unfortunately, science has not caught up quite yet. And we're waiting for stem cell research to progress and things like that. One day, maybe. Now, do I not take care of myself? That's accurate. But that has to do with other things, not my eyes necessarily. Let's continue. We've got now another thing I have to address apology about here. And I'm very sorry that I did this, but I also noticed I did not exactly say that I thought it was accurate. Let's just put it that way. I did not come into this going like, yeah, no, I totally, I think that Tom Brady totally said the N-word on that clip. We're talking a lot about the N-word today, but we played a clip of Tom Brady where we listen to it. It sounds awful like he says my N-word to Ed Reed. And everyone's like, that's a fake clip. That's a fake clip. Everyone on YouTube, as a matter of fact, that's what Annie wrote. It goes, Tom Brady said, and they gonna, not the N-word. And then he wrote, that was from every YouTube comment. So I never said that I thought it wasn't doctored or wasn't fake. I just said, I hope it isn't, because I need a new reason to hate Tom Brady. That's all I said. But I'll apologize anyway. I made some comments on my previous broadcast saying Tom Brady used an inappropriate racial slur. There's Castellanos coming to the plate. Turns out he didn't say it at all, but you know what? I'm still gonna perpetuate the rumor. See, I need a reason to hate Tom Brady, and he's starting to get a little too likable for my comfort. Oop, there's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball. Castellanos taking time in the box. I'm just going to continue to go on and say that he said the N-word. I think he says it behind closed doors. I think he says it in a hateful manner. And I'm going to stick by that. Oh, there's a liner to right field. Castellanos heading to first, and he's out. Great catch by the right fielder. Now, I have the clip here. Let's play the real one. What do you say? Just give Tom Brady a little break. Because like I said, I feel bad that I didn't put that out there more, or I didn't exactly make that point known, that I was like, I don't care that it's not real. I want him to have said that. But let's hear it.
Oh, man! They got to bring you here! They know you're my kryptonite. They got to bring you here.
They got to bring you back. Okay, so I don't even know what I don't know if that's not what they said. They said, I'm going to bring you back. I don't really know how that got doctored into him saying it so clearly on the last one, but we were all convinced, and Annie thought that he was justified in saying that, Zolo. I think you would have a different opinion.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that, people are like, I think somebody was mad at Annie for even he's like, don't give them a pass. And I was like, I'm going to let them deal with that one. You know, a discussion that I shouldn't be involved in, and that should definitely be left to Annie to decide. I did go down to Florida though, and participate in spring training, which was a lot of fun. I got to go to a sporting event, which was insane. Can you pull up my Instagram for a second? This is going to be something, if I get to go to sporting events down the road here, this is what I'm going to do going forward. I sat right on the third baseline. Can you go? That's the middle one there in the second row. Not that one, the second row. Yes, there you are. Now, I sat right behind. Now, they had plexiglass up. They don't normally have plexiglass up, obviously. But I sat right behind the dugout almost. Or not the dugout, but the bullpen, because they don't have actual bullpens on these little stadiums. That's Robert Dean Chevrolet Stadium. But That right there is pitcher James Hoyt of the Marlins. And I tagged him. I was just like sitting right by my boy, James Hoyt, and I tagged him in it. Now, I looked at James Hoyt's Instagram, and he has approximately 6,000 followers. So therefore, I have almost 70,000 followers more than him. And I thought, no doubt this guy's going to see this. He better be my friend after this. Wouldn't you think? If you're James Hoyt, you're like, this guy's giving me clout.
Yeah, I mean, he must have seen it, right?
I don't know. He didn't like it. He didn't follow me back. But I was gassing him up all game. I was like, all right, baby. Like, he went to warm up at some point. I was like, yeah, we're going to get it. And then I even tagged him in a story. I'm like, he's getting some action. But, he didn't follow back. But I'm going to do this tirelessly because I'm finding that baseball players, who I'm a fan of, unless they're like, Mike Trout or something, have significantly less followers than me. Maybe I can get some professional athletes to come aboard and be some fans of the Roach. Maybe I can get them on the show or something down the road. Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by Blue Blocks. I got to thank Blue Blocks for hooking me up with these bad boys on my face right here. You see, everyone who has been following me for any amount of time understands that I have major eye issues. And the last thing I need is a computer screen, my phone, my tablet, ruining my final eye. And Blue Blocks, thankfully, have been able to construct a glasses that can fit my prescription and help me from making more wear and tear on this last eye. You see, because blue light damages our eyes and leads to digital eye strain. And that's just not good for your boy here. I got to do everything I can to not have any strain on this guy because otherwise I'm getting a dog, I'm getting a stick. It's bad news bears if I keep going down the path of strain. So thankfully, Blue Blocks, I got to tell you, I've looked into these things that block out the blue light, these glasses that block it out. And oftentimes companies tell me, we can't do your prescription. Your prescription's too crazy. We can't do it. Blue Blocks went above and beyond to do if they can do my prescription, they can do yours. So don't think that it has any limitations on that. If you have one worse than me, maybe they can't do that one. But I'm just saying they did mine, and mine are bad. So if you think you have bad eyes, chances are they're not as bad as mine. But Blue Blocks has over 40 frames, and they come in prescription, non-prescription, and in readers. So if you don't need a prescription frame, but you still want to prevent strain on your eyes so you maybe don't get a prescription down the road, Blue Blocks can help with that as well. And they're also giving back by working in partnership with Restoring Vision in their Buy One, Gift One campaign. For each pair of Blue Blocks glasses purchased, they donate a pair of glasses, reading glasses, to someone in need. So that's very cool. So you're helping somebody out there who maybe can't afford a new pair of readers get some and protect their eyes as well. So hopefully you can get your energy back, sleep better, and block out the unhealthy effects of blue light with Blue Blocks. You can get 15% off right now by going to blueblocks.com/Josh or enter code Josh at checkout. That's Blue Blocks, BLUBLOX.com/Josh for 15% off, or just use the code Josh. But with that said, let us get into the sports.
You want to see my dick? See my dick? See my dick?
What an appropriate way to end that one from Odd Track Numbers, because we have some serial predator allegations on Mr. Deshaun Watson. I've been avoiding this story for a while because it just seems weird. You didn't hear about any problematic things with Deshaun Watson ever until he started becoming a bit of a diva and wanting out of Houston. Now, I did have my conspiracy theory hat on, and it's not a good look to sit here and be like, I don't know that it's real or whatever, but you try to suss out different things here and there, and it's just odd timing. And all these women are being represented by the same lawyer. So I'm like, is Easterby just pumping this out there so no one wants him in a trade and he has to play for the Texans still? That'd be diabolical. But, you got to believe the victims and things like that. And it turns out he is a serial predator if these things are true, because he has a very niche sort of victim in his thing. A 14th lawsuit alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct was filed against Deshaun Watson by a woman who referred to him as a serial predator. it's another massage therapist. These are all massage therapists. The traveling massage therapist alleges that when she arrived at the address Watson gave her, he led her to a room and locked the doors behind him. That forced the plaintiff to take out her mace, to which Watson noticed it, but only laughed at the fact of her grabbing it. The plaintiff had never had any type of contact with Watson prior to the massage, and the plaintiff routinely provides massage therapy to athletes from professional football teams to other high-profile athletes. Plaintiff expected the massage with Watson to be professional, just as it had been with her other high-profile clients. She was excited to and encouraged that the professional player would want to use her services again. Prior to the massage, Watson sent a message to the plaintiff to say that they could get on the phone and talk about importance, whatever that means. He said he was flying from Georgia to Texas to California and told her his back was killing him. The plaintiff said she could stretch him. A massage was scheduled to take place in Beverly Hills on July 15th, 2020, and the plaintiff texted Watson at his request, and he provided her with an address to a house. When the plaintiff arrived to the house, Watson came out and gave her a guest pass to park. The house had a big living room, but Watson led plaintiff to a room where Watson shut the doors and locked the doors behind him. At this point, plaintiff got her mace out. Watson saw the mace and chuckled, but did not say anything. Watson said he did not want to be covered with a top sheet because he claimed that it gets hot easily. Probably gets hotter with it off there, Deshaun, as we're going to find out. The plaintiff said that it was okay, but she said that Watson still had to use a towel. Watson got a towel, and the plaintiff went to the restroom to wash her hands. When she came out back into the room, Watson was a completely different person. He started to aggressively dictate the massage. He asked her to massage his glutes, which, for the uninformed, that's the ass. He asked to, massage my glutes. That's just like, yeah, get right in there. And he pointed to his butthole. That's not the glutes. That is decidedly not the glutes. And she said no, of course. At some point during the massage, Watson flipped over onto his back, and the plaintiff could see that he had an erection. That's a tough thing. I've never gotten a massage in my life, but I wonder if I would get an erection during one, just a regular one, to be honest with you. I'm not defending Watson. I mean, he pointed to his asshole. That right there is a little, So if taking this story at its word, obviously he's in the wrong, but I'm saying the erection part, I don't know if that's to be the thing that you go, there's the sign, because I think, like, even if a dude was massaging me correctly, I might get an erection. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever gotten a massage?
No, I haven't. But yeah, I don't think I would. I feel like I'd just be kind of like so uncomfortable by the whole thing, having some I don't know, I'd be too nervous.
That's true. During sex, sometimes I don't get an erection because I'm uncomfortable at the presence of another person. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. But at the same time, it wouldn't be out of the realm. I could have a Costanza happen to me and I'd be like, it moved, Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at some point during the massage, Watson flipped over onto his back, blah, blah, blah. We mentioned the erection. The plaintiff was terrified but did not want to make Watson upset. He's a high-profile athlete, after all. Watson then asked the plaintiff if she could massage his lower abdominals. I guess his tummy and shit. At this point, Watson grabbed the plaintiff's hand and moved it to his penis, trying to get that one massaged, obviously. And then he moved his genitals more towards her hand, the plaintiff's hand into his penis to get her to pleasure him. He also kept directing her to his butthole. He really wants that beehole action. Who can blame him? That should be a specialty massage. Massaging the beehole. There should be someone who's out there just going like, I do beeholes purely. I don't do anything else. You want your shoulders? Fuck that. I'm a beehole person. After the massage ended, Watson was still naked in front of her while on the phone. I will not have you sign an NDA, but don't ever talk about this, he said. The plaintiff was completely numb with fear at this point, and she felt violated, ashamed, and disgusted. Well, that's a very detailed account, so, good golly. If there are others that are that detailed, this is pointing to Deshaun Watson being in fact, a serial predator, and we'll see how it all gets flushed out here. Watson has denied wrongdoing, and his attorney, Rusty Hardin. That's a terrible name to have for a sexual predator attorney. Rusty Hardon? Golly. They said the allegations are meritless. I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect, Watson said in his statement that he posted on Twitter back on March 16th. So now 14 have come out, and they're all massage people. So he's like got a real, that's like where you go like, okay, that's where there's smoke, there's fire there. He's got a real thing for massage people. Maybe he just assumes that every massage is like the happy ending thing. He's just like, that's what massages are. Could just be ignorance in that regard. Again, not trying to justify any of it. And I'm sure we'll find out down the road here. But at the end of the day, I think Houston's going to get to keep him after all this, if they in fact want to. Maybe they don't even get to keep him after all this is said and done. Next up, we have another hot mic incident, which was sent to me almost as much as the Leaderman clip was sent to me. I mean, this one was another one. This is a hot mic catching a ref on the NHL admitting to screwing over Nashville on purpose. Social media is having a field day with this. It has long been thought that refs in different sports often give teams makeup calls after they screwed up from a previous play. We now have audio evidence of this happening. A ref in the game featuring the Nashville Predators versus the Detroit Red Wings was caught on a hot mic admitting to screwing over the home team. There wasn't much, but I wanted to get a fucking penalty against Nashville. Let's see what he says here.
It wasn't much, but I wanted to get a fucking penalty against Nashville early in the...
So now people are like up in arms about it. This guy was fired. And I don't know. I mean, like, do we not think refs suck? I mean, we already know. So, I mean, this again is just further evidence of that. But people really wanting me to... I mean, the guy's an idiot for saying that out loud. That's really what we are on here. I mean, the guy's a freaking moron for... He has a mic on him. If you have a mic on you, oftentimes players have the mics on them. The refs have them for doing the calls to the stadium. They go on the thing and they go, holding on so-and-so. Like NFL refs have that. NHL refs have it so that they can call the penalty to the broadcast. They don't say it in the arena, but they've got hot mics on them. So why he would admit that, it's stupid. But that also leads me to wonder, does this happen so often that he was comfortable enough to say it and comfortable enough to just have that be the case? He's like, yeah, that's what we do. You know what I mean? So them firing him is, again, another social media mob sort of coming after the situation and getting rid of him. That could be the case. It could just be something that's a major practice. What is this now? Is this the same thing?
I think this is a replay of it.
Oh, this is where you get to see the ref actually telling it to the coach. Let's see this now.
They're going to call a penalty on the play. Darby, you heard him say, what? As most do. Me?
Yeah, this guy's like, I don't even know what I got. What is the penalty for? He's looking at the replay. Turns out it's because we need to screw you.
The box doesn't say a word, but the other 95% can't believe it. Oh, man, that's such a dive. Merrill, that is such a dive right there. He gets his...
And so the ref went over to the Red Wings bench. He goes, hey, it wasn't much, but I had to get one on him, And so there we go. And I mean, people, if I'm a Nashville fan, of course I'm pissed. But again, it seems like he was so cavalier about it that this is very well a normal practice in the NHL. I would be more angry about that than I would about, the entire... or at the one guy, I guess I should say. But that clears up sports for today. I thought I had one more thing I was going to bring up. But no, we have a lot of cum stories in the news. Let's get to it. Yes, the first story involving semen today. And again, by the way, thank you to Odd Track Numbers for providing both remixes for today. As he has so many bangers coming out, and he keeps sending them to me, and he's even sent some things over to the new email, so we'll get some new ones on in the coming weeks. But thank you so much to Odd Track Numbers, as always. But yes, back to the semen. Man pleads guilty to ejaculating into coworker's coffee. And I didn't know that was a crime, frankly. I mean, I thought that was something that was a gift. You know what I mean? If one of you guys wanted to jizz in my coffee, I'd be like, thanks, fella. So have at it, is all I'm saying. I won't get you arrested. But here he is up on the screen here. I don't know if I'd want this guy's cum in my coffee. It seems like it's like throwing battery acid in there. But a 34-year-old Blaine man has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge accusing him of ejaculating on a coworker's desk and into her coffee. That's tough that it was a woman. See, I would have done it to a dude. It's tough, because it'd be like a real ha-ha moment, real waka-waka. More serious charges were dropped for the man back in November 2014 when a Ramsey County court found that there was not enough evidence to provide probable cause for his actions constituted felony criminal sexual conduct. So, the New Brighton City Attorney subsequently filed a misdemeanor charge of indecent exposure. On Thursday, he pled guilty to that charge. According to the criminal complaint, an employee at Bicewinger's hardware store, so this guy just works at a hardware store in New Brighton, called police saying she thought her coworker was leaving bodily fluids on her desk. I don't know that I would notice it being jizz. I'd be like, that looks a lot like jizz, but there's no way that it's jizz. Would you know jizz out of the just right away? Like, that's jizz, boom. I'm calling the police.
I don't think so. I wouldn't assume it's just on my desk, but like
I would like did I spill milk?
Yeah, it sounds like she knew he was leaving it for her. Like, he's leaving cum on my desk.
Yeah, that's bizarre. She told police that she had found Lynn standing at her desk with his back turned toward her, and allegedly he had both of his hands in front of him near his genitals. So I guess that's a real tip off. If he's like this, then you're going like, okay, I guess that's probably jizz. So, I mean, frick. According to the original complaint, when Lynn noticed the woman, he looked at her with a deer in the headlights expression and quickly went into another room. And then he ran away. Not before jizzing on the desk, obviously, and into the coffee. I wonder if he was aiming for the coffee and missed and got the desk, or if he just meant to get it on the desk and happened to get a bonus score in the coffee.
I wonder, man. Maybe the coffee is trying to give her a little like creamer or something.
A little cream in the cream in the coffee. That's why I would have thought it was milk too. I would have been like, did I spill milk on my desk? Like if I would have just happening upon jizz on my desk, I'd be like, oh, did I? Because it has that film. It's in fact why I hate drinking milk, because I hate the way it's like the way that it gets on surfaces and stuff. I'm grossed out by it to a level. I'd rather have jizz than milk on my desk, frankly, to be quite honest with you, and in my coffee. The woman told police she inspected her desk and noticed a strong odor that resembled urine. Bad batch of cum, if that's the case. Oh boy. I mean, what a gnarly batch of cum for it to smell like piss, right? What if she was like, and then I tasted it and I could tell he has a bad diet. Like, you know what I'm saying? She got real investigative. She said her coffee smelled the same way and noted that she had an ongoing issue with experiencing a foul taste in her coffee. So she knows the man's taste. Foul. What if she was like, he eats a lot of pineapple, I gotta say. He met with police. He told police that he liked the female coworker and was attracted to her, and he admitted to ejaculating on her desk and into her coffee. That's not a way to achieve some mutual likeness. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to win over a heart, don't jizz on their desk. That's not a way to do it. You want to jizz in their bodies, so you have to romance them. Give them flowers on their desk. Chocolates, perhaps. Not cum. Don't put that in their coffee either. Lynn told police that he liked her, blah, blah, blah. According to the criminal complaint, he denied ejaculating into her coffee out of revenge because she had threatened to report his behavior. The Ramsey County Attorney's Office said the 5th degree criminal sexual conduct statute makes it gross misdemeanor crime for a person to engage in non-consensual sexual contact. According to court documents, the specific definition of sexual contact includes, we don't need to know, we know what this was pretty much it, obviously. The definition does not include contact by jizz. Okay, so we found a loophole. Can maybe get the guy off. Unfortunately, there are no other applicable felony charges that we can file at this time. Well, we need to change the laws. You got to have semen in those laws. So the guy might get off on a loophole, but nevertheless, disgusting. And, not a way to win over a woman that you're trying to court, friends. I suggest, again, flowers, maybe a romantic note. Try not to jizz on their desk. They're not going to like that, especially at work. Maybe if you get to date them after a little while and you got a little thing going, like maybe if it's your girlfriend, you can jizz on their desk and they'll be like, oh, you left me something. And then that will be it. We did have another story involving semen and I'm having a difficult, where did it go? I just saw it and I lost it. All my papers are everywhere. Ah, here it is. It's because it said ejaculating and not semen. I was looking for the word semen, you see. In this headline, Osage Beach man charged after ejaculating on eye care center employee. Now, I have dealt with many eye care center employees. Some of them are very attractive, and they're gazing into your eyes. Again, never consider jizzing on them. The Osage Beach resident, 29-year-old Julian Hughes Rowland, has been charged with sexual misconduct in the first degree. So maybe perhaps in this state, this guy's not going to make it out of here unscathed. According to the court records, Osage Beach police responded to a local eye care center. Officers spoke with an employee of the business who stated that Rowland was sweaty and shaking his leg. The employee felt a wetness on her pants leg and asked if Rowland had vomited. It was at this point the employee realized that Rowland had been masturbating and had gotten seminal fluid on the employee. Someone should get the employee's eyes checked. I mean, how did she not notice he was jerking off in front of her? I mean, you're right up in there, I guess. So he was like while she was leaning over him. But I would have checked. I would have looked down at some point. I don't know. Unless the guy was a quick jerker. You know, it was probably like 3 seconds. I'm gonna assume that he was a quick jerker, you know, because it couldn't have been for a long time. But he got all sweaty and he was shaking his legs. I don't understand why she thought it was vomit. She had his face right in her face, I'd assume. Prosecutors requested a no-bond warrant on Rowland as he is currently on bond in Pulaski County awaiting trial for forcible rape. Oh my God. Wow. I mean, Jesus. And he's going to get his eyes checked just willy-nilly. These are the people you come across in the day. Like, they're just walking around. Rapists. He is presumed innocent until convicted in a court of law, apparently. That's how they decided to end this article. God damn. I mean, that's like just a wild situation at the end of that is insane. This guy is an actual forcible rapist, and he's just walking willy-nilly like, I'm going to get my eyes checked. And then he does something like this. Like, I don't know, get your shit together, Missouri. Is that what state this is? Good golly, put that guy in fucking jail. But yeah, semen abound. Again, keep it inside your dick, fellas, you know, unless they want it outside. I don't have this problem ever because I can't even come when the girls want me to. So I'm never going to have this sort of thing. I'm never going to have to cross this bridge. But elsewhere in the news, we've got a very interesting Christmas story. I thought this was interesting. It comes to us by the roving roach reporter, Tom. Was that other one from somebody too? Oh, yes, it was. Andy Everding sent us the eye care center getting jizz on her. Thank you for that one. So thankful for that. But in this one, a man fatally beat his wife to death. He put her body on the sofa and told his children that she ruined Christmas. That's how you get the children on your side. Mom's a real bitch. She ruined Christmas. We murdered her. California prosecutors say murder defendant William Wallace, 39 years old, beat his wife to death, took her body from the bedroom to the living room, put her on a couch, put sunglasses over her eyes, did the real Weekend at Bernie's. That's what we call that move. He told her children to open their presents in front of her. The comments came as Wallace's trial kicked off this week in Anaheim. This Christmas story does not have a happy ending. And unfortunately, this is not just a story, it's real life. That is from Senior Deputy District Attorney Heather Brown, according to the Orange County Register. As described by the prosecutor and by the family of victim Zazel Preston, 26, the 2011 slaying followed a pattern of physical abuse and controlling behavior. Wallace allegedly expected Preston to live like she always did. When he was, so in that case, he beat her and then he just expected her like get up and walk around or whatever. Preston has been working on becoming a domestic violence counselor. Weird. I guess he was pretty shitty at that, according to this whole story here. Prosecutors said Wallace told his kids, "Mommy ruined Christmas by getting drunk." Okay, so maybe are you on his side yet? I don't know. I guess I have to see what she did to ruin Christmas first. The defense maintains Preston's death was an accident. One of Preston's daughters said her mother drunkenly fell into a glass table. Oh, look at that. That daughter's ride or die. I mean, golly. She even just came up with like a really good one. You know, imagine a little kid just doing that and being like winking at her dad and being like, I gotcha. Mr. Wallace is being accused of something that is not his fault, defense lawyer Heather Moorhead said. You will hear about a relationship that was full of arguing and yelling, but also a lot of love. Sounds it. According to Brown, Wallace admitted that he and Preston were drinking and that he had tossed her around a bit. Okay. The victim attempted to run, but he caught her and took her back into their apartment. Cops said there was blood throughout the residence, holes were punched into the walls, the door was taken off its hinges, and the case is ongoing. So mommy ruined Christmas by drinking. My mom wouldn't ruin Christmas by drinking. She would just my mom, there were a couple times where my dad I thought was going to but my dad's like such a passive guy where he would just go drink himself then. Do you know what I'm saying? That was his out.
For sure, yeah.
You're like, oh, I got you. I know what's up. But thank you to Tom. Great stories sent in, by the way. I see these and I'm like, oh boy. I love how you guys are darker than me in a lot of capacities, but man, oh man, that one is wild. But that daughter, she's going to be something coming up someday. You know what I mean? She's going to be a real FGD RTD for sure.
Oh yeah.
And this one comes to us by way of Eric, another roving reporter out there, a Texas man. This one this is like a breaking news story. A Texas man borrowed a BMW from a dealership and used it to rob a bank. He then returned and paid for the car with the stolen cash. That seems like, what are you even doing? That's like in Batman, the Dark Knight or whatever, when Alfred is like, it was a ruby the size of a tangerine. Remember when he gives that story?
Yeah.
And he's like, some men just want to see the world burn. That's what this guy, I feel like he just wanted to get off by stealing a car. But let's see what happens here. Because he used the stolen cash to pay for the car. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A Texas man who used a BMW loaned to him by a dealership to rob a bank so he could pay for the car was sentenced to 20 years. Why didn't he just steal the car? That's the thing. Eric Dion Warren, 50, from the Lubbock area, drove away while the purchase of a black car was still pending. He then entered AIM Bank in Wolfworth, Texas, approached a teller, and put a fast food paper bag over his head to disguise himself. Warren placed a demand note on the bank teller's counter that read, "This is a fucking robbery. Play with me and die. I want 10 G's in $50 and $100 bills. You got 1 minute or I will kill you." That was all on a note. Bringing out what was believed to have been a handgun, the bank robber said, "I ain't playing around. I only want 100s and 50s. He added, "Don't push any buttons," before fleeing the scene with several thousands of dollars, including bills with recorded serial numbers. Not smart. You got to make sure you get those Haven't you ever seen Dog Day Afternoon? Come on. Watch more movies. Returning to the dealership within 15 minutes, he waved around the stolen cash and used $3,000 of it as a down payment for the BMW. While the purchase was being finished, an employee received a call about a nearby bank robbery and realized the description of the getaway vehicle matched the car Warren was about to buy. He was arrested with $5,000 in cash, and police recovered a pellet gun that resembled a handgun. His fingerprints and DNA were found on the demand note to the bank teller. How do you get, I guess the fingerprints I understand, how do you get DNA on a note? Did he jizz on the note like these other guys? That's the only way I can think. Did he drool on it? Like, how do you get DNA on there? You have DNA on your fingers?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe some, skin cells or something.
God, they're getting really elaborate. It's like, why even bother committing a crime anymore? Because you're just going to get fucked with this DNA shit.
Honestly.
He pleaded guilty to the bank robbery and was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, the statutory maximum, on this past Tuesday. But man, why didn't he just steal the car? He could have just stole the car. He got away with it already. Might as well have just taken it. Short-sighted criminal here. Just a real dum-dum at the end of the day. But we have no shortage of those in our lives, don't we? Here's another one. Another man in Texas. Can't wait to move there. Texas man arrested with guns, ammo outside of vice presidential residence. And I believe this is Kamala Harris's vice presidential residence. A man was arrested Wednesday afternoon near the Naval Observatory and charged with several counts related to weapons and ammunition, according to the Washington, D.C. Metro Police. The Naval Observatory is the vice presidential residence, though Vice President Harris and her family do not live at the estate yet. So this guy just went to an empty house and was like, acting a fool. Let's see what he did once he got there. Paul Murray of San Antonio was first detained by Secret Service based on an intelligence bulletin originating from Texas. He was later formally arrested by Washington police. A rifle and ammunition were recovered from his vehicle. The arrest comes as the district is in a state of heightened security, obviously, after the insurrection back on January 6th. And then it talks about the insurrection. I don't want to hear about the insurrection. I know that already. Harris has not moved into the residence at the Naval Observatory due to a need for repairs at the building, media outlets have reported. So I don't even know what this guy did once he got there. He was just outside of it, hanging out, loitering, maybe looking in the windows or something, or did he knock on the door was waiting for them to come. And when police asked him, he was like, I'm Uber Eats. And then they were like, why do you have guns and ammo? And he was like, it's dangerous out there. Haven't you seen? But yeah, he got fucking arrested. But I did have people asking about the sandwich, or people were angry about my reporting of the sandwich Nazi back a couple of weeks ago because the article that I had used, I'm just reading the news, fellas. You know what I mean? Like they were like, oh, this is more fucking media, left media, blah, 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 because apparently the guy died like a couple of days later and it wasn't, anything to do with the insurrection. It had just, compounding sort of circumstances, whatever. I mean, come on. You're defending the sandwich Nazi. That's your hill you're going to die on. Fuck off at the end of the day. But, folks, I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, we've got all these people jizzing on everything. We've got dumb criminals and no shortage of stories. Thank you for submitting all of them. A nice roving reporter edition of the Josh Potter Show. I do, in fact, miss Any. I have to get used to him not being here as we are going to be launching our own podcast channel in May. But I will tell you that I don't know who the new producer is going to be quite yet. I have options I have to decide upon. But, I'm still perusing those things. I'll let you know as soon as I know, frankly. And I hope in the meantime you still subscribe to the new YouTube channel and get on that because, shit's coming down the pipe here in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, I'm going to be selling tickets for shows. We're going to be adding more shows. So I hope you come out to both the Tampa Bay Improv June 9th, the Orlando Improv on June 10th. And that's it for now. We're going to have some more announced very shortly. I'm going to be going to Denver for leisure. I'm hoping to add a show on those dates as well. So keep your eyes peeled to my Instagram at Josh_Potter. Keep it over to the Twitter at J_Potter. The link tree will always be having new dates as they get added to it. And of course, the merch store, buy it up while you can, folks. store.ymhstudios.com. Cecil Wilson, not traded yet. The countdown is on. People are going back and forth. Is he going to be traded? Is he not going to be traded? I think he's sticking around, so feel free to buy the shirt. It's not out of date quite yet. Again, thank you if you have subscribed to the new YouTube channel, and I hope more of you do in the future as things move forward here. And if not, all right, so long. But otherwise, I will see you next Tuesday. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to Zolo for being here on this episode of The Josh Potter Show.